Excellent. Um, Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this 1.5 hour session that covers the combination of Power BI and Tableau. So I'm going to give you my introduction, share with you what type of projects I work on. How is it that I end up using Excel, Power BI, Tableau for different client projects? And then, of course, give you a live demonstration how to build visualizations on Power BI and Tableau, how to do calculations on Power BI and Tableau, and how to do some data cleaning as well, right? Over the course of this 1.5 hours, you will yourself get a sense of which tool is better at what. Each of them have their own advantages. They are number one and number two in the market. So both are very big and important to learn. But then what are the subtle differences between them? That is something I hope all of you will take away once the session is over. Okay, so without further ado, I just want to share a quick background in terms of what I do. So my name is Havish Madhupati. Some of you might know me from my LinkedIn posts. We might be connected already. I run a firm called Havisham Consulting. I work as an independent consultant. The work that I do is a combination of corporate and business school work. So in corporate, I do consulting and training. With business schools, I conduct different workshops. In terms of my qualification, I'm Harvard Online Certified in Data Science, a 40 under 40 analytics. Havisham Consulting is a Microsoft partner. I'm, of course, a Microsoft certified trainer, Power BI certified, and Microsoft Office Specialist Master. I'm one of India's leading authors on Excel. I have over 15 books that I've authored on Excel. In terms of my clients, again, it's across various sectors. So there is a lot of work that I do in the energy and power sector with Adani Power, Adani Transmission, Integrated, and Sterlite. Sterlite is one of my oldest clients. I still work with them. Other than this, I have conducted about 250 trainings for PwC and EY in a 4-year period from 2017 to 2020. Now I don't do that anymore. I do a lot of trainings for D. Shaw, which is an investment banking firm. I also get invited by Economic Times to do a lot of modeling trainings for them. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look here. The most recent one that I conducted was this one. This was on financial analysis and modeling. So the two of us had done the session jointly. So Pinkesh had taken the session on financial analysis. I had handled the modeling part on Excel. Like this, I've conducted a lot of sessions for ET Masterclass. My work has been featured in a bunch of different places. If you're curious, you can go and have a look at this later. In terms of B school engagements, I have engaged with 17 of the IIMs, the top 8 IITs, and all the various engagements that I've had, whether it's in the form of case studies, guest lectures, paid workshops, all of the details are here on the website. So for example, next week, I will be at IIM Udaipur for a workshop on Power BI. Then last month, I was at Shriram College of Commerce for a 3-week training on Power BI, Tableau, Excel. In April, I was at IIM Code for a 3-week program for the Executive MBA batch. So like this, I engage a lot with business schools. So I spend about 20% of my time with business schools. I also have a podcast called Conversations on Data, where I invite friends and colleagues from different industries, and I speak to them about anything and everything related to building your career, data, the future of a corporate career, so on and so forth. So it's quite varied. So I have people from all sorts of sectors and all sorts of functions. So I like to keep it varied purposely. And especially for MBA student, if you're an MBA student right now, there is a lot that you can take away from all of this. And most importantly, I have a YouTube channel by my name, Havish Madhupati. I have over 800 videos here. And it's a collection of everything from 60-second videos on Excel to 12-hour, 14-hour lectures on Excel, Power BI, Tableau. I keep it updated. So there's a lot of content that you will find here. And definitely have a look at it. I'm very confident that you will find something of your liking, something that interests you, right? Let me just turn on the AC. It's getting really loud. Okay. Now, all these links as well, I'm going to share with you. In fact, let me do that right away. so that I don't forget later. So let me go to training and let's pick one of these. So let's take event and I have an about me. In this one link, everyone, you will find my GitHub profile where a lot of files are readily available. You will find my Instagram handle, which is not that important. Then a link of links, Lucid chart, Tableau public, the website, YouTube channel, and the YouTube videos link, right? So everything that I have is in this one link, and I'm going to share this with you right away. Okay. So it's on the chat window, everyone. So these are all the links which I've shared. And then one more thing that I want to share with you is data sets. Especially B school students want to get data sets to practice on. So I'm sharing that one link with you. So let's come to data sets and here we go. So you can see here that on this link, the second one, there are about 30 really good data sets from finance, marketing, HR, otherwise that you can practice with, right? Perfect. Now let's get straight into the training. Now these are the expectations that the participants had put forward. I'm just going to read out a few of these things for you. So basics, introduction, all this is okay. Learn the tools with real world examples. That's something I'll be covering. And anything else that is specific is, yeah, not really. I think it's more or less the same points that everybody has put forward, right? Okay. Now the chat window is open to all of you. You can also talk to me whenever required. You can just unmute yourself and speak to me. If the question is a slightly large question, then I will answer it at the end of the workshop. Otherwise, I'll answer it then and there, right? So don't wait for me to stop talking. Wherever you have any question, just put it on the chat window or unmute yourself. I'll be more than happy to answer, right? So think of this like a classroom training. It is not a lecture where I will complete my lecture and then you will ask your question. You can ask questions wherever you want. Okay, now all of us have heard of Power BI Tableau, so I will not take you through slides and all of that. Let's not waste time on that, right? But I want to open one of my data sets. This is a beautiful data set on marketing and sales, and it's called the Global Superstore data set. You already have the link. So after the workshop is over, in case you all want to go back and practice with it, you can do that. But let me show you what is there in the data. Okay, check this out. It's a beautiful data set. There are about 50,000 records that we have and 15 columns that we have. So if I take you through it column by column, you can see that we have the order date, the date on which the order was placed, the shipping date, the date on which the order was dispatched, the customer name, then we have the city, state, country, region, market. So these 5 columns have the geographic detail. There are 5 markets, which is United States, Canada, Europe, Latin America, Africa, and Asia Pacific. There are 16 regions. There are 165 countries, and so on and so forth. Then we have 3 business segments. So we have business to consumer, business to home office, and business to corporate. There are 3 categories: technology, furniture, office supplies, and there are 17 subcategories. Finally, we have the sales quantity, discount, and the profit. Now imagine, and there are 50,000 records that we have as, so it's a mid-sized data set. Now imagine that you have to do some analysis on it. Something like top 3 customers, best region, create a forecast for the next 3 years. How do you do all those things? In Excel, you will either write a formula or you will make a pivot table, isn't it? But here's the thing. Excel is very clumsy. It's a beautiful tool. I've spent almost 20 years working on it. It's a wonderful tool, but Excel is not the best when it comes to analytics. It's great for modeling, but it's not the best for analytics because for everything you have to put formulas. There's no automation, very little automation. The visuals aren't that spectacular. So we want to work on this data, and I will be working on Power BI and Tableau parallelly so that all of you can also compare the tools and see which one is better and which one has what are the pros and cons and the merits of using each of the 2 tools, right? Not able to see the data set. I'm not sure. Can the others confirm? Because I am sharing my screen.
Can see it.
You can see it? Okay, perfect. Araswita, just make sure that everything is okay on your end. All right, so I'm going to open Power BI. By the way, Power BI and Tableau both are free software. So all of you who haven't worked on it and who are considering starting your journey with BI, remember they are free tools. So that should not be a point that stops you, right? And just to tell you how important it is to work on these tools, Power BI is used by 97% of Fortune 500, right? So I'm not making up numbers. It's right in front of you on the official Microsoft website. 485 out of the largest 500 companies in the world are using Power BI. So the question as to whether should I learn it, should I not learn it is invalid. That question doesn't make any sense. As important as it is to learn Excel and PowerPoint for a corporate career, similarly, it is as important to learn Power BI as well. Why is it then that not a lot of people talk about it? Because it's a very new tool. Power BI has only become popular in the last 2 to 3 years. It was only launched 6 years back, right? But if you go to naukri.com and you just search for Power BI, you will see that there are, do you see this? 6,200 jobs, not openings. There are 6,200 jobs available on Power BI. Same thing if you do with Excel. And let me do the same thing with Tableau as well. There are 41,000 for Excel, and there are 6,000 for Tableau as well, right? Remember, these are the number of openings, okay, which essentially means that multiply that by the number of requirements for each one of these profiles, right? So this should be as valid any reason that I need to give you to tell you how important it is to start learning these tools today. That time has gone where Excel, PowerPoint was enough. Now organizations are asking for Power BI skills as well, right? Okay, perfect. So I have Power BI open with me, which is here. And I will open Tableau as well, which is here, right? Now see, this is something new that I'm trying out because usually the trainings I conduct are either on Power BI or on Tableau. But a lot of people ask me, sir, how do you do the same thing in Tableau or how do you do the same thing in Power BI? So this is something new that I'm trying out. This is the first open workshop that I'm conducting where I will be showing you both the two tools parallelly. So I don't know, it might be a little complex, but I hope all of you will be able to follow it, right? Okay. So this is my Power BI interface, everyone. This is the first screen that you see when you open Power BI. The interface is not important. That you will learn over a period of time. What is more important is to understand how does the tool work? How is it different and similar to Excel for that matter or to PowerPoint? So this is Power BI and this everyone is Tableau, right? So first I'll do it on Power BI. You can just follow my red crosshair to see where I'm clicking, okay? So I go to Excel workbook. This is my Excel workbook on my downloads folder and I'll click on the file. Once we connect to the file, there is a sheet in it called sheet 1. I will select that and I will click on load. It is almost similar to loading a pivot table. So I connect to the file, I select the sheet and I click on load. Once that happens, then on the right side, you can see that we have a load button that appears here like this. And then after the data has been loaded, you get the sheet name and you can see the list of all the different columns that you have. How do you do the same thing in Tableau? I will click on Excel. Then on my downloads folder, we will select dataset marketing sales. And again, once Tableau connects to it, we have to select the sheet that we want. So the sheet is called sheet 1. It's already selected. And I can just go to sheet 1. And here you can see that on the left side, you have all the columns. So the difference is in Power BI, you have it on the right side. In Tableau, you have it on the left side. Okay. Now in Power BI, I want to start by making a very simple chart. Let us say we want to make a column chart. Okay. So please watch. I select my column chart. And in the column chart, my order date is in the x-axis and my sales is in the y-axis. As simple as it gets. Like you do it on Excel as well, we are making a column chart. Now you might be wondering, Havish, what's the big deal? Like this is just a simple column chart. Why and how is it better than what we do on Excel? Now you notice there are these drill options that you have, everyone. How does that work? So when I click on the expand button, you notice that it shows me all the years and all the quarters. How cool is that? Okay, but then you say, okay, but what if I want to see the month as well? I'll click on it one more time. Now it shows you all the months as well. But what if you only want to see, let us say, the last 6 months? So I can just create a slicer like this. And then in the slicer, I'll keep my order date. And the best part is that both of these are automatically connected, which is so cool because now I can just say, I just want to see, do you see this? I can just move it and it shows me the last 6 months like this. Very simple. How do you do the same thing in Tableau? I will select my order date. I will double click on it. Then I will select my sales value. We will double click on it. In the show me button, I will select, there is no column chart here, but I'll select a bar chart. Then we click on this button, which will swap, which will rotate it. So now it becomes like this, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. But what we want is to see the data for all the months, isn't it? So when I click on the plus sign, it's not quite what we want. So let me undo it. First, by year, I will convert it into my year as a measure, right? Like this. And then you notice when I make it my quarter and my month, do you see this? There is one column for each month. How do you apply a filter now or a slicer? I will select my order date. We will say right click and show filter. Do you see this? You have the years here. But that's not what we wanted. We wanted a filter in where I can choose the dates that we want. So let me undo it. I'm going to put my order date in the filter here. We will select a range of dates. Next, I want a range. I will say apply, okay, right click and then show filter. And you notice we have the same filter in Tableau and I can do the same thing. Do you see this? If I just want to see, let's say the last 6 months, I can basically do that. So let me say I want to see from the 1st of July or the 1st of August like this. And here as well, I want to see from the 1st of August like this. What if you want to see the data label? So I can just go to format. Do you see there is an option called data label? I can select that. So you see the sales. And then in the field, if I also want to see the profit, then I can put my profit in the tooltips. Now it shows me the sales and the profit. If I want to do the same thing here, it's already showing me the sales value. But if I keep the profit in the tooltip, now you notice it shows me the sales and the profit, right? So as you saw, it was very simple how we did the same thing in Power BI and how I did the same thing in Tableau. Any questions, anyone, please ask. Once I answer those questions, then I'll tell you how to do a calculation, which is the profit margin in both Power BI and Tableau, right? Where can we download Tableau? Just go online and search for Tableau and you'll be able to download it. You can just say Tableau public, right? Just search for Tableau public, go on the website and download it. That's it. Right? Completely free of cost. Right. Any other question, anyone? So we have Power BI, we have a column chart along with the slicer. Here also we have in Tableau, we have a column chart along with the slicer like this.
Can you able to make a secondary bar chart using profit?
A secondary bar chart. I'm sorry, not able to follow. Could you ask that in a different way?
If I want another bar chart for profit, can I able to bring it here?
Yeah, of course. So if I, for example, keep my profit here, then you can see the sales of the profit like this. Is that what you were asking?
Okay, fine. Since the scale is not same, so we can't able to bring it in a single chart.
No, you can. It's not that you can't. Let me show you once. Hold on. So let me keep the profit here. I can just right click and make it a dual axis, right? And just a moment, I'll have to make this a clustered column. You mean like this, right?
Yeah.
So here you go. See, the visualization again is, I mean, it's extremely customizable. Whatever is on your mind, in your imagination, you should be able to create it. Right?
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Is Power BI more user-friendly than Tableau? Kevin, I will not answer that. I think since I'm doing both of these things for you, I think you can take a call on your own and decide for yourself which one you feel is the right tool for you and which one is easier. The shortcut for changing the width of all the bars in Tableau, I mean, you can just press the, I mean, there is no shortcut for that because right now what we have done is we have kept the month here, right? Which is a continuous. If I make it discrete, then you notice that there is a gap that comes in between. Then I can use control right arrow, control left arrow for changing basically the bit. Like I said, I don't want to focus too much on the shortcuts and the formatting today because we only have an hour and a half, and there are many other things that I would like to show you. But yes, I mean, since you're asking me, I'm trying to show you as many of these things as possible. Right? Perfect. Now let us say that in Power BI, I want to break each month into 3 colors, one for each of the segments. So in Power BI, it's very simple. I can keep the segment in legend and you get 3 of these. Very simple. How do I do the same thing in Tableau? It's quite interesting. There is no legend option here, but I can keep the segment in the color and it gives me 3 color. Again, if you notice, we are doing exactly the same thing. Now, if you say, but Havish, what if I want to see a 100% column chart? That means, let me make a duplicate page. You want to make it a 100% column, I can just select a 100% column chart and you get this. In Tableau, it's a little more difficult because if I right click and duplicate, you will notice that there is no option for a 100% column chart. Like you have in Power BI, you don't have one here. So it's a little more difficult. I will go to sales and I will say that there is a quick table calculation. I want to see percentage of total. Do you see how my y-axis has all become percentages now? There is one more step left. Now, again, I'll have to come here and I'll have to say compute using table down. See, again, I will not be able to explain everything to you in a lot of detail, but I hope you see what I'm doing. I'm trying to recreate the same thing on Power BI and Tableau. Some things are easier on Tableau, some things are easier on Power BI. So it balances. It's not that one tool is necessarily better than the other tool. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, right? Let me keep it in the text as well so that you can see 49.53%. Same thing I can see here as well, 49.53%. Like this. Okay, now we want to see the profit margin. Okay, so if I come back to the first visualization, profit margin is a calculation, which is the sum of profit divided by the sum of sales, right? How do we do that in Power BI? We go to new measure. So Power BI uses a different language than Excel. So remember, we are not using Excel formulas here. We're using something called DAX, which is data analysis expressions. When I click on it, now I can simply say that my profit margin is equal to what? It is equal to the sum of my profit, okay, divided by the sum of my sales value, which is at an aggregate level. So the sum of my profit divided by sum of sales. That means if I look at consumer segment for July 2015, it means 9,600 divided by 1,28,000, right? Let's see what the result is. So I'll press enter. We'll convert this into a percentage and I will keep the profit margin in the tooltips. And now you notice, do you see this? It tells you that your top line, your sales is 128, your profit is 9,600. The profit margin is 1 divided by the other, which is 7.56%. This is the calculation that we have created. How do I do the same thing in Tableau? Very similar. I will click on this arrow and we select create calculated field. Let's call this the profit margin. In Tableau, we don't have a equal to sign. You never start a formula, any formula with an equal to. You just write it straight away. So I will say the sum of my profit, okay, divided by the sum of my sales value. Very simple. Click on OK. I'll put the profit margin in the tooltip. And do you see this? Let me convert this into a percentage as well, if that's okay. So I'll just go to default properties, number format, percentage, and you can see everyone, consumer segment, 7.56%. Same we had done here also, 7.56%, right? So quick recap. In Power BI, we went to new measure. In Tableau, we went to this arrow and we selected create calculated field like this. Any questions? See, of course, it will take you a lot more practice, and I'm doing everything very fast because this is what I live and breathe, right? But those of you who are just starting your journey, of course, there is a learning curve. These are not tools you can just pick up in one day. It all seems very simple and very elegant, but when you start working on it, you realize that there's a lot to learn. Like the tools are very, very deep. Okay. All right, let's do something else. What I would like to do now is to show all of you how to make a scatter chart, okay, which is this one. So I have made a scatter chart, and in the scatter chart, I want to keep, right, in the scatter chart, I want to keep two things. So I'll keep my profit in the y-axis and I'll keep my sales in the x-axis. And I will also keep my subcategory in the values. Remember, there are 17 subcategories. So this is what you get. And I will also keep my profit margin in the size. And let me just do a few formatting changes, if that's okay. I'll add the label. I will also go to markers and add a border, right? I think that looks pretty good, like this. Also, I have a play axis, which means that I can just put my month. Do you see this? I'll putting my month in the play axis. And now I can actually see the change month by month. How cool is that? Beautiful visualization, very practical. And clients love it because it allows them to see the change over time. So let me keep the market here so you can understand it better. Check this out. If I click on, let's say, APAC, do you see what it's doing? It's actually telling me how is APAC changing over time. Check this out. Beautiful, right? The same thing I can do in Tableau as well. So if you notice in Tableau also, I will double click on profit, double click on sales. I will put my market in the label. So we get 5 of these. For the play axis, I will keep my month. So my order date in the pages, I'll change it into the month. And you notice we get the same option here as well. Right? So more or less, we're doing the same thing. Let me also make sure that my sales and profit are everything looks okay, right? Yeah. Again, I've not done the beautification, but let me keep the market in the color and let me keep the profit margin in the size and increase the size a little bit. Yeah, here we go, right? So you notice like this. Again, more or less, we're doing the same thing that we did in Power BI, right? Like this. See, the reason I'm showing you both the tools is to tell you how similar they are. Sure, the name of that feature might be different. Where you click might be different. But then by and large, the knowledge is always transferable. So if you learn one tool, learning the other one should not be that difficult. If you learn one tool well, then you can always pick up the other one as well. But there are certain advantages of using Tableau, which I'll show you right now. So in Tableau, in Power BI, if I want to make a map, I have very limited options. So you notice I have map, a fill map, a shape map, and an Azure map. But the basic map is very simple. If you notice, I have my map here. Please watch. If in my map, I keep 3 levels, okay, my country, state, and city. Please look at this. I'm keeping my country. Then below that, I'm keeping my state. And then below that, I'm keeping my city. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty good. And if I click on my drill down button, then if I only want to see India, it actually takes me to all the states in India. If I only click on UP, you notice it shows me all the cities in UP. It's pretty good, right? Especially for somebody who's coming from Excel. This is fantastic. Such a beautiful way of visualizing the data, isn't it? But you like it because you haven't seen Tableau. Look at this. Tableau is amazing when it comes to maps. So I'm going to double click on my country. It makes a map similar to Power BI. I'm going to keep my sales in the size. I will also increase the size a little bit. I'll go to color, reduce the opacity, add a border, right? Now check this out. This is India right now. So I can just click on the plus sign and it shows me at the state level. Then if I just search for India here, it zooms into India. It's pretty cool, right? And if I click on the plus sign again, it shows me all the cities as well. So let me remove India. Now imagine that you wanted to show at the country level only for one market, let's say Africa. So I will right click on market, show filter. I'm going to select Africa here and you have Africa here. Pretty cool. But let's make this even better. I'm putting the sales in the color. So you get a range of colors from light blue to dark blue. Now imagine you want to show the sales and the profit at the same time. So I have my longitude here. I'm just putting my longitude in the column one more time. So it makes two maps. You can't do all this on Power BI. And in the second map, I will remove my sales and I want to keep my profit in the color and the profit in the size. How cool is that, right? Morocco and Morocco, like this. Maybe I can just reduce the size a little bit. It's a bit too large. And of course, you can experiment with maps that you have. So I can make it a filled map as well. So let me just show you how to do that. So if you don't want these bubbles, you want a boundary of the country in Africa, then I can just put this sales in the color and you get something like this. So how cool is that? Check this out. Amazing, right? So the one on the left shows you the sales value. The one on the right shows you the profit value. For example, if you look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, sales is 87, profit is quite low at 21. But if you look at Egypt, sales is 84, profit is 19,000, right? Again, if you look at South Africa, 94 and 21, like this. What is the problem area? Look here. In Nigeria, our top line is 54, but we're actually incurring a loss because we are incurring a loss of 80,000. That's how the visualization speaks an entire story. And this is what we mean by data storytelling. Right? How do I highlight the red marker? Ganesh, could you just ask it in a different way? What do you mean by the red markers?
Actually, there's a red highlighter you're using.
Oh, this one. This is nothing to do with Power BI and Tableau. This is a tool called Power Toys. It's a free application by Microsoft. So you'll have to install it. There are many different tools that are available. One of the tools that is available in the Power Toys is this red highlight that I have. Right? It's called Microsoft Power Toys.
Thanks.
All right. Let me see if there's any other question. How can the profit be shown as a percentage with the map? Right now we are showing the profit, right? Not the percentage. In case you wanted to do that, I can do it very simply. I can put it one more time. And in the third one, I want to keep my profit margin in the color. And here you go. Do you see this? Profit says and the profit margin. I mean, how elegant and how practical it is to be able to show something like this. And it gets even better because remember, I have a filter, so I can just select APAC and now it shows me the data for Asia Pacific, right? Or for Europe, like this. Okay. Now let's say you say, but Havish, what if I want to see the data for the 3 business segments? I can just keep my segment in the rows and you get 9 maps. I mean, how fast was that? Somebody who doesn't know Power BI and Tableau will always be amazed at somebody else being able to create something like this, wondering how much time it would have taken them. It actually doesn't take you a lot of time. And this is so cool because if I keep my sales in the filter, check this out. Look at how beautiful the visualization looks now. I can actually move my sales value. Do you see how my countries are getting filtered? Check this out. It's an absolutely fantastic animation that you can keep, right? Like this. How to determine which columns to spin X and Y axis? I mean, it's logical. For example, right now I have my segment in the Y axis and I have my longitude in the X, which is the column, because I want to create 3 columns. That's something you will learn when you, work on the software systematically. This is more of a demonstration In this 1.5 hours, I obviously can't teach you step by step, but the idea is for you to get an exposure to what the tools are capable of, right? Okay, so let's come back to Power BI. Now, Power BI has this beautiful feature which is not there in Tableau, which is ask a question. I mean, it is there in Tableau, but I don't think it's there in Tableau public. I believe it only works online, right? So let me show you in Power BI how that works. So I'm just going to select this button called Q&A, question and answer, right? Now, in the question and answer, I want to ask a very simple question. I will say, what is my sum of sales value? So it gives me 12.64 million. I'll just copy and paste. I'll ask it one more time. What is my sum of profit, right? So it gives me 1.47. Now I can ask one more question. So I can say, what is my sum of sales by my segment as a pie chart? How cool is that? It actually makes a pie chart for you. And then maybe I want to ask also, what is my, or rather, who are my top 10 customers? So I can say, who are my top 5 customer name by sum of sales. So it tells me, okay, let me make this as a table. Yeah, here we go, right? And the best part is all of these are interconnected. So when I click on one, you see how the sales profit and the top 5 customers are also changing every time. Since I don't work on Tableau a lot, I'm not sure on Tableau where this feature is there. I believe it is there. Tableau ask a question, but I think it only works on the online version. That's something you will have to check, everybody. See, there is an option even in Tableau that allows you to do this, but it's only there on Tableau online. It doesn't work on the desktop version of Tableau, but it's very similar to the way Power BI works. Right? I mean, I haven't done a deep dive, so I will not be able to tell you exactly which one is better and more accurate, but that's something you can figure out on your own. Right? Okay. Yeah, of course, everything is dynamic. I mean, if I click on refresh and my source data has got updated or it has got changed, of course it will work, needless to say, right? No question about it. Everything is dynamic. Okay. At this stage, let me also show you a few dashboards that I have created to give you a sense of what Power BI and Tableau can do, okay? You can also go to my website later and have a look at them. In fact, you can even download my Power BI reports. The link is there. And if you want to see my Tableau profile, the link is there, right? But let me just show you. So the initial ones are all HR dashboards. So this is a HR business cut. This again is an HR business cut. This is a performance tracker. This is a remote workplace survey. This is a training effectiveness survey. This is a marketing sales analytics dashboard. This again is a marketing dashboard. This is a digital marketing dashboard talking about cost of acquisition, conversion percentage. Then again, you have some more marketing dashboards, right? So all of this has been created on Power BI. This and moving onwards has been done on Tableau. This is all Tableau, okay? So this is a dynamic scatter chart where I can actually change my sales and profit as well. It's a little more complex. This again is a Tableau dashboard. Okay? So look at the variety of different things I've created and the level of formatting that I've used in all these visuals as well. Right? Right, everyone? So I hope this gives you a good sense. In any case, you can just Google it. You can just Google Tableau dashboards and you can find, thousands of different dashboards that people have created. And this is a great way to get ideas, get inspired, and get a sense of what all is possible with the tool, right? Tableau being almost a 20 years old tool, there's a lot of content available on the internet. Same goes for Power BI as well. All right. The next thing I want to show you is how do you do data prep, which means, let us say you want to combine multiple files. How do you do that in Power BI? And how do you do that in Tableau? Okay. So let me show you the data set, if that's okay. I will come to one of my folders, which is training and files and teachable and Tableau. This is from my course as well. So this is something I've covered in more detail in my online course. Okay, where are the files? That's quite odd. Okay, it seems I don't have the files with me. Just give me a moment to try and locate them. Okay, hold on. Files and links. Okay, here it is. Okay, I have it online, but for some reason, it's not there in my folder. Okay, let me fix that. So let me keep all the files, downloads in my folder as well. And let's keep this on the desktop. Okay, let me first explain to you what the problem is, and then I'll tell you how we can solve it. Okay, so here's my problem, everyone. I have 3 years of historical sales data, 2011, 2012, 2013. What does the data look like? It's a very simple data set, same column, same order, everything is the same. But if you notice here, we have about 9,000 rows. We have about 15 odd columns with us, which is a sales data. Similarly, I have this for 2012 and 2013 as well. But there is something that is missing from the data, which is my category. So if you notice, I know my subcategory, but I don't know my parent. So I know the child, but I don't know the parent. So for example, I know there is chairs, supplies, phones, but I don't know what category it belongs to. Where is that file? That is a separate file called category. And in this Excel file, which is managed by a different person, the mapping has been given. So you can see, I have the mapping, the subcategory and the category, right? Okay. Now let's see how we can do this in Power BI first. In Power BI, I want to combine 3 years of sales data, 2011, 2012, 2013. So I will go to get data. We will go to more and we will select a folder because my files are there in a folder, right? Click on connect. All we have to do is to select the path of that folder. So it's on my desktop called sales historical. Click on OK. It confirms to you that there are 3 files in that folder. So I will go to combine and transform. And once I go to combine and transform, I will have to select the sheet that we want to combine. Which one is our sheet? There is only one sheet in all the 3 files called sales. Remember, there are 3 files and each of the 3 files is only one sheet called sales. I go to OK, and this opens up something called the Power Query Editor, which looks like this. The Power Query Editor, everyone, is a data preparation tool that allows you to do ETL. Combine, extract, transform, and load the data. The formula we are using here is not Excel formulas. This is called Power Query M. The language is called M. And this is available in Excel as well. So if you notice, I think most of you might not know this, but even in Excel, we have both the languages, right? So if you notice in Excel, I have Power Pivot where I can write DAX measures. And I also have data, get data, where I have something called Power Query. These are advanced features in Excel. But remember, whatever I'm teaching you is not a Power BI specific feature. It's available in Excel as well, both DAX and Power Query. Okay. All right. Do you see this? How cool is that? 2011, 2012, 2013, all the 3 have been combined. Amazing, right? It just required you a few clicks, no manual copy and paste. Even if you had 30 files in a folder, you don't have to combine them manually. You just have to put everything in a folder and it will combine it. Now, this is one part of the problem that is done. which is we have combined the three files, 2011, 2012, 2013. But what about the category? The category still has to be selected, right? For that, I will go to Excel. I will select my desktop, union merge, and my category, which is my dimension file. And then in the category, we will go to transform data, right? So because we want to make a few changes to the data set. In category, we will first promote the headers so that category and subcategory are the headers. Right click, and I will also change it to a capitalize each word like this and close and apply. Now, how do I create a relationship between my sales data and my category? I will go to the model view and ignore this. This is not correct. Do you see this, everyone? Let me do it from the beginning so that all of you can see. Very nicely, no formulas, no VLOOKUP required. I can just select my subcategory, okay, like this, and I can drag it on my subcategory. This, everyone, is how you create a relationship in a database between two different tables. All is happening within Power BI. Now let us do the same thing in Tableau as well. So I'll come back to Tableau. First, I will go to Excel and we will only select one file, which is 2011. Right? So I go to sales historical, I only select 2011. But the problem is that we don't want to select one file, right? We want to select three files. Now only 2011 is selected. So I will double click on new union, right? And it asks me for a wildcard automation. So I will say that in this folder, which is union and merge sales historical, any file which is asterisk.xlsx, that means any file which is an Excel file, I need to combine it one below the other. So I'll go to OK. But the moment I do that, something breaks, something that doesn't work properly. It tries to connect both of these. It's a little advanced, so I'll not explain it completely, but I'll just remove the first one. And now you notice you have one more time. If I do this, you notice I have a union of all the three files. Now you might ask me, Havish, how can you guarantee that this is correct? Let me show you. Please watch. So if I make a sheet, right, and I keep my union and I keep my order date and my sales. Do you see this? You have 2011, 2012, 2013, which is so cool. I have managed to make a single visual where the data is not coming from one file, it's actually coming from three different files. How do you merge the other one, the category now? So I'll again go to add Excel and I will select my category now. Right? This is my category. So I'll just drag my sheet here. Do you see it's creating a relationship? In Tableau, you also have to define the type of relationship. So I will say that my relationship, if you notice in performance options, is a one to many. That means that in my union, it is the many side because each subcategory has been sold multiple times. So this is a many, but on the sheet one, each subcategory is only coming one time. So this will be a one. Again, how do I prove to you that everything is working properly? Check this out. Now, if I keep my subcategory in the rows, do you see this? It's actually showing me 17 subcategories in 3 years. So 51 values, despite the fact that this data is coming from 4 different files right now, right? 2011, 2012, 2013, and a different category file, right? Like this. I mean, I can also keep the category, right? Not the subcategory like this. Look at this. How cool is that? But Tableau, if you want to do a lot of advanced data preparation, there is a separate tool in Tableau that is called Tableau Prep. Okay, I'll not be covering that in today's session. It's called Tableau Prep. It is literally the equivalent of Power Query. But Power Query is available free of cost. Tableau Prep is only available if you have a paid version of Tableau. Power BI is very cheap. It is only $10 per month for one person. Tableau is $70, so it's 7 times more expensive. I'll not get into detail here. You can just Google Tableau versus Power BI cost. And there are lots of articles that cover this in more detail. But I'm not going to do this right now because you don't need me for that. All of this is already available online. You just have to put in a little bit of effort and search for all these things, right? Yeah, but Power Query is a fantastic tool. I mean, this tool has more than 900 different features in it. It's a beautiful tool. It is a difficult tool because you have to learn it from scratch, right? The language looks like this, but it's an absolutely fantastic tool. It can connect to SAP, Salesforce, Google Analytics, BigQuery, Python, R, you name it, it can do it, right? So you downloaded Tableau Public, but you're not getting access to install it. I mean, I'm not sure. If it's a corporate laptop, then you might need some admin approval to install a software, if that is the case. Because if it's a personal laptop, then I don't expect any issues to be there. But sure, I mean, if it's a corporate laptop, then you might need admin approval. Yeah, so I hope all of you are getting a feel for both Power BI and Tableau. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yeah, I'll just wait for a minute or two in case anybody has any questions.
Avish, what is the difference between public and Tableau public and Tableau something like professional?
Yeah, so Tableau desktop is paid, for which you have to pay about 60,000 rupees per year for one person for 2 computers. Tableau public is the free version. But the only catch with Tableau public, everyone, is that you cannot save your work on your computer. If you notice, the only option I have is to save it on the cloud on Tableau public. And what is the problem in doing that? If you save it on Tableau public, your data will also become public. So everything you are doing will become public. The good part about Power BI is that in Power BI, even if you're working on with a free account, you don't have a paid account to Power BI, it will not stop you from saving your work. If you notice, I can just save it on my computer. Even in Power BI, I can publish it on Power BI service, but you have the option of saving it on your computer like an Excel file. You can save it, you can add it on an email as an attachment, and you can send it to other people, right?
Thank you.
Right. Any other question, anyone? What was your learning path? Yeah, so, okay, since you have asked me and hoping that my journey will help some of you decide your career path as well, I'm going to spend a few minutes on it. If it's boring, ignore it, but I hope for some of you, it gives you some clarity, okay? See, I have been working on Excel forever. I mean, I started working with Excel when I was in school, basically, and I never stopped working on it. Just give me 1 second, everyone. All right. So I started. I mean, I did my BBA in marketing, my MBA in marketing. I'm a commerce student. I never did any IT or programming in my life. Got a campus placement in Reckitt Benckiser, did my internship with Coke, worked with Reckitt for about 2.5 years. So I was in the CPG space, but I was in a sales profile, right? Fantastic company, great profile, but I really wanted to step out and get into teaching. So I took a break of 1.5 years, figured out how is it that I will enter into teaching. The career transition is a fancy way of saying that I did not have a job for 1.5 years, but I knew I wanted to not spend my life doing a 9-to-5 corporate job. I wanted to teach. So I went to Amity, taught there for 2 years. I was an assistant professor marketing. I taught papers like product and brand management, marketing research. Then I worked with a few startups. So I was the head of research of a very small boutique market research firm called Trevor Strategy Consultants, worked there for exactly 3 years. Then I started a private limited company with 2 other directors, Decode Research and Analytics, ran that for 1.5 years. And then finally, started Havisham Consulting 3.5 years back. So I work as an independent consultant. I don't have a team with me. Everything I do myself. My website, my logo, my content, my recording, everything is done single-handedly, right? In terms of my learning path, I was working with Excel, like I said, ever since the beginning. I was always very, very, very good with Excel. Also because I put in a lot of effort into it. Then in 2014, I realized that I've hit a ceiling. If I want to get better, I have to learn programming. So I literally started learning VBA. I had no idea what is programming, but I started learning it because I knew I have to learn it if I want to secure myself in the future. So I started learning VBS, did a few years of VBA, and I got really, really good at it. So I'm a VBA specialist today. VBA is one of my strongest areas. In fact, I was listed as a 40 under 40 analytics for my work done in Excel Visual Basic. So I did that for a while. In 2018, 2019, I started working with Python, learned Python a fair bit in a few years. Then I started learning R. In the last 1 or 2 years, I've been learning JavaScript and TypeScript. I've been working on Power BI since 2017 October. So, I have spent about 4.5 years on it, but I only started learning DAX after COVID. So I've only spent about 2 years working on DAX, but I spent about 4 years working on Power Query. The reason I'm sharing all this with you is to tell you that it requires a lot of time and effort. It's not something you can just learn in 2 or 3 days. If all of you notice, despite the fact that I'm Power BI certified, I'm still doing a course on Power BI. Watch this. This is a very, very advanced course on DAX. Only formulas, okay? Very advanced course. I've done about 64 out of 157 lectures, and I've been doing this course for about 2.5 months now. That is how difficult the course is, right? But that's the point, I have to continuously study and learn. If any of you are contemplating a career in data, remember you will have to study your entire life. It's as simple as that. So you have to learn to like it. If you feel that, Havish, I don't want to be in a profile where I have to keep on studying and read books all my life, I don't think a career in data is the right profile for you, right? If you look at this is my home setup, by the way. Do you see this? These are books that I'm reading right now. I mean, there's one on mastering DAX, one on Excel, one on VBA programming, and one on SQL. That's just the nature of the work. Look at the number of courses I've done on LinkedIn Learning in the last 18 months. I have done 161 courses on LinkedIn Learning in the last 18 months. Sure, I might not have completed all of them, but I've at least done 161 of them. So I'm just showing this to you to tell you the amount of effort, not just for me, for anybody in the area of data. This is the amount of effort you will have to put into it if you want to build a successful career in data analytics, right? And of course, Excel is super important. While today we haven't had the chance of discussing Excel, Excel is an amazing tool. I mean, I can guarantee that all of you, what you do on Excel is not even 10% of what Excel can offer for you. Like Excel has this entirely different universe of operations called Lambda. Lambda allows you to build your own functions in Excel with no programming. If I can just give you an example, look at this. Right? I mean, these are the type of formulas you can build on Excel, right? I'm sure a lot of you would not have heard of let, offset, sequence, round down, index. Okay, maybe these are the simpler ones, but I'm sure very few of you have heard of or have worked on something called filter XML, right? So that's the point, the better you get at Excel, it will be easier for you to pick up other tools as well. I strongly believe in it because that's the same thing I apply to myself as well. The better you are at Excel, the better you will understand Tableau and Power BI as well, right? Yeah, any other question, anyone? Anything related to what we are covering, even a little out of area, we'll be happy to answer.
Actually, I wish there are a lot of many things to learn. So, which one to start? How much to devote time? And anything
See, it's very
can
hard to
guide.
talk about the time because everybody has a different pace. Okay,
Yes.
I can talk about myself, right? I can't give you a perfect learning path. I can talk about myself. If I talk about my last 1 week, my calendar is right here in front of you. Right? We are sitting on 12th, right? So this week was quite easy. Last month was very hectic, as you can see. But I'm spending on an average every week, at least, let's say 20 to 25 hours on studies. That's it. I'm not talking about client work. I'm talking about pure studying with a book or doing an online course. 20 to 25 hours a week is what I've been doing for the last 8+ years. And this is nothing special. It's not that I'm doing it and others are not doing it. This everybody has to do. Anybody in the area of data, if you want to excel at what you're doing, you have to expect to spend that amount of time and have that level of commitment if you want to be in the area of data analytics, right? So I hope that gives you some direction. And of course, I have my online courses. So you can, if you're interested, you can all have a look at my YouTube channel. There are over 825 videos there. And of course, if you're interested in the online course, all the details are on the website. So there are different bundles available. So it also talks about which is the best course for finance, marketing, supply chain, HR. And then if you want to see the topics in detail, it also tells you every course, what is the duration and what are the topics that have been covered in it, right? So yeah, there are different bundles available. So there is a mega analytics bundle. 34 courses covers Excel, Power BI, Tableau, PowerPoint, Word, R, Python, 9, SQL. SQL, Python, R is basic. Others are all advanced, from basic to the most advanced topics. 85 hours of content, lifetime access, free update. All the files have been given. No limit on the number of times you can watch the video. And this is literally the same content I'm teaching at IIMs and the same content I'm teaching in all my corporate trainings as well. So the content I teach at an Adani and at a Sterlite and at a D Shaw, exactly the same case studies, the same examples, the same trainer is what is covered in the course as well. Then there is an Excel bundle that is $12.99 for 20 courses on Excel. Then similarly, there's a BI bundle, Power BI plus Tableau, Power BI, Tableau, Office bundle, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, SQL. So, basically the choice is yours. It's not that I'm forcing you to purchase all the courses, even if they're not relevant for you. You can take a pick in terms of which one you feel makes more sense. And, if interested, you can go ahead and have a look at that. Should you practice Excel first and then Power BI? See, Excel and Power BI have a lot of common area. Power Query and DAX, if I can show you everyone, please see this. Power Query, okay? You see this Power Query is available on both Excel and Power BI. So basically, once you learn Power Query, you're learning both Excel and Power BI at the same time. The same goes for DAX as well. So when you're learning DAX, you will notice that DAX again is available on both Power BI and Excel. So I never think of Excel versus Power BI. They are hand in hand. They supplement and complement each other. Can I explain you why I mean that? Please see this. I'm just opening my Power BI account, okay, and I'm also opening PowerPoint right in front of you, okay. So I'll open one of my dashboards on Power BI. If you notice, I'll just pick up one of these. Look what I'm doing. I'm copying my URL, Control C. I am going back to PowerPoint, which is here. Okay, check this out. Insert. Now there's a new feature called Power BI within PowerPoint. I can just put my URL here, okay, from Power BI. And how amazing is that? Now you can actually show your Power BI report within PowerPoint. By the way, this is a brand new feature. This only came last month. Isn't that amazing? This is an interactive, live, dynamic Power BI report. How amazing is that running within PowerPoint? Very cool. Similarly, when you're working on Excel, Excel can also read Power BI reports. Let me show you how to do that. So if I'm working on Excel and I go to Insert and I select Pivot Table, do you see there's an option for Power BI? So I can actually read my Okay, let me just change my account here. I can read my Power BI data sets directly within Excel. Let me do that one more time. So I never think of Excel and Power BI as competitors or which one is better, because they're really complementing each other. Check this out. I can read my Power BI reports in Excel, right? Similarly, when you're working on Power BI, I can also export my Power BI report as an Excel file with a live connection. So this is all Microsoft. So Power BI and MS Office all work hand in hand. For example, when you're working on Teams, Microsoft Teams can also show a Power BI report. So don't think of them as which one is better. They all are basically the same tool by the same company. Yeah, but the short answer is learn it parallelly. Don't focus on first learning Excel and then going to Power BI. I think the best way to learn something is to learn it parallelly. Right? Okay. If I buy the Power BI course, then how can we download the platform? Power BI is free of cost. You can just Google it, Power BI. It's a free download. What is the access validity of the course? Lifetime access. So, simple answer to that. Can I share my portfolio link here as well? It's already there on the website, but I'll share it one more time, just in case. My portfolio, right? Yeah, here you go. Cool. What else?
Havish, if I purchase this Power BI wala videos, so whether it is there from starting to ending, from basic scratch
100%.
to project wala?
100%. Can I show you? Because my Teachable account is open right now. This is the platform, by the way, everyone. This is how you will be accessing the course as a student. So if I show you my Power BI course, okay. So you can see all the videos here. So it literally covers from the absolute basic, which is what is Power BI and how to download it. Like, where is the link? How do you go and install it? Introduces the interface, goes to the dashboard, different types of visuals, Q&A, Power Query, DAX service. Everything is covered. And I keep on updating my course frequently. So all the updates are free of cost. For example, if you look at my Tableau course, I originally recorded my Tableau course in 2020. Do you see this? Introducing Tableau. This is all my old 2020 course, which is a good course. But I realized that I now have a better understanding of the tool. I want to record it from scratch. So do you see what I've done here? This is the latest lectures. So I just recorded it literally like 1 week back. Absolutely brand new content. Everything has been re-recorded from scratch, right? All the topics. And the best part is that if you purchase a course and I update it after 6 months or after 1 year, the update is always free of cost. You never have to pay more for a new course. A lot of other people I know do that, where you have one course and then when the course gets updated after 2 years, you have to pay more for it. In my case, once you purchase a course, if the course gets updated and when it gets updated, all of you get free access to it. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. Right? And that holds true for every course that I have. Right? Yeah, and you can see all the courses are available. Plus, if you want to see that, how do we know, Havish, whether we like your teaching style or not? Go to YouTube. I have over 800 videos here. I'm not saying that with a guarantee you will like my teaching style. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. That's okay. Every trainer, every instructor has a different teaching style. But because I have over 800 videos here, I think that will give you a very good sense of, okay, I think this is exactly what I'm looking at. This is the right pace and the right depth of content. If you feel, no, I think for whatever reason, I don't like his teaching style, that's perfectly okay, right? But definitely go to YouTube, because there's so much content on it. I'm sure you will find something of value that you will find here. Perfect. Any other question, anyone? Let me just see the chat window. Yeah.
Hi, Avish.
Yes.
Can you come up with some course on SSC, like SAP Analytical Cloud?
No, that is not my area, because my core area is on Excel. And as an extension of Excel, now I do a lot of Power BI work for clients. Tableau, I only teach at certain companies and in business schools, but I don't do any consulting project on Tableau because all my clients work on Power BI. But my area is limited to Excel, Power BI, Tableau. In the next month or two, I will be coming up with an introductory course in machine learning as well on Python. But the areas you mentioned is not really something I'll be getting into.
Okay, fine.
Great. What else? Anyone?
Havish, Akhil this side.
Yes. Yeah.
So I just saw that you have mentioned about the certificates in your courses. So are those certificates about completing that course, or are those Microsoft certificates?
No, nobody can give you a Microsoft certificate. Any company or any firm, any online platform that tells you we're giving you a Microsoft certificate is flat out lying to you. The only Microsoft certificate that is available earlier was called DA100, which is on Power BI. Now they have changed it to PL300, right? That is the one that I have been doing for the last 3 years. This is the only one single Microsoft certification, and nobody can offer you this. If you want to get the certification, you have to directly go to Microsoft. It is all online. You have to pay about 5,600 rupees for one attempt. It's an online proctored examination, 2.5 hours. 700 out of 1,000 is the clearing percentage. If you clear it, you get the certification. Nobody else can offer you a Microsoft certificate. The one that I offer is something like this. Because Havisham Consulting is a Microsoft partner, on my certificate, I have mentioned a Microsoft partner, and because I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and Power BI certified, I mentioned that. But because I'm certified, by that virtue, I can't extend that, certification to you. The only thing I can show you is that you have been certified by somebody. You have completed a course created by someone who's qualified. I am qualified. That is what you can tell to a recruiter, that you haven't done just some random course on the internet. You have done something which has been created by a Microsoft certified trainer, right? So yeah, I mean, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, Havish. In extension to this, so if I do a course on Power BI and Excel, and then if I wish to attempt that PL100 Microsoft certification exam.
Yeah, I would say about 70 to 80% of that exam is covered in my courses. And see, I'm giving you a very honest answer. Yeah. I don't want to say yes, everything is covered. And I mean, why would I want to do that? I have over 17,000 students with me in the last 2 years. It covers about 70 to 80% of the curriculum. The rest 20% you will have to study on your own. The reason I haven't covered it is because that focuses on how to connect to SQL, how to connect to Azure, how to connect Power BI to Python and R, and a few administrative settings. So things like row level security and all. So at most, I would say 80 to 85% is covered. A little bit of it you will still have to study on your own. But remember, you can't just do my course and expect to clear the exam, because the passing percentage is 70%. So if you do my course, you have left out 15% basically. If you have only attempted 850, out of 850, getting a 700 might be a little difficult. So some supplemental reading will still be required. I don't think my course will suffice for you to clear the certification. In fact, I don't think any course will suffice. When I was attempting my exam, I did like a lot of different courses. I did not go to just one course and did it. I went to a lot of different websites and did courses.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Havish.
Yeah. Great. Anything else? Anyone? Anyway, I mean, if you have any...
Power BI course is included Power BI services also, only a desktop one?
So I have covered a little bit of Power BI service, but not a lot. Because see, in Power BI service, the thing is, there really isn't much. Because, let me show you. For example, if I'm on Power BI service, right, and I want to edit my dashboard, which is here, the features here are exactly what you get in Power BI desktop as well, correct? The visualizations are no different. It is 100% the same. Power Query in Power BI service is also the same. The same features that you get on Power BI desktop are the same in Power BI service. The only additional things you have in Power BI service, everyone, are things like row level security, creating a data pipeline, and your administrative settings, things like paginated report, your lineage, go to settings, set the deployment, things like these. This again is not a part of my course, to be honest, because this is more on the IT side of it. My course speaks about things as a data analyst. not as a data administrator. As an administrator, how do you set up access? How do you set up tenant settings? This all is not covered in my courses. My course only focus on connecting to the data, doing the ETL data prep, creating visualization, coming up with business insights, and writing formulas. That's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Great. Anything else, anyone? All good, excellent. So all of you have me on LinkedIn. You have my email as well. So if you have any queries about the course or anything else in general, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll be more than happy to reply to that. What should be learned and practiced for a business intelligence analyst? I think it really depends on what sort of company you're applying into, because in my client list, all companies work on Power BI. But then that depends, right? Maybe the company you are applying to works on Tableau. I don't know that. So I can't tell you which one is more important. It really depends on the company that you're getting into. That's one. Excel, of course, is a no-brainer. You have to learn Excel no matter where you are. So yeah. Book recommendations, I think Power BI, there's only one book. So for DAX, okay, for Power Query, there is something called M for Data Monkey, which is this one. You can just take a screenshot of this, everyone. It's called M for Data Monkey. This is for Power Query. Okay, in fact, let me share it on the chat window. For DAX, again, there's only one book, which is Definitive Guide to DAX. This is the one that I refer to as well. This one. It's quite an advanced book. This is the best book on DAX. And I believe there are some books that also help you clear the examination. So PL 300 books. I mean, I don't know any from the top of my mind, but you should be able to Google it and have a look. Yeah, so you have an official PL 300 examination book as well. Daniel is fantastic, so I'm sure the book is great as well. I'll share this with you as well. I mean, I don't have any personal experience, but I do know the guy is fantastic, so I'm sure that the book will be good as well. I'm a commerce grad student looking forward to take data science and analytics as my minor in English. Shall I start your course? Absolutely, that will cover the analytics part, but remember, data science is not Power BI and Tableau, right? Data science is something different. Data science is working on a programming language where you're working on R and Python. So yeah, this is on data analytics, not on data science. While I do have courses on Python and R, my courses are very basic courses. They're not advanced courses. So probably what you learn in your MBA will be much more sophisticated than that. But do remember that both Python and R can be connected on both Power BI and Tableau. So Power BI also has integration with Python and R. Tableau also has integration with Python and R. So on that front, they are equal, right? And they're able to connect to programming languages.
Your Tableau course is advanced level or?
Yeah, so my Tableau course has two parts in it. So one is the basic and intermediate level. So if I can just show that to you right now. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so there are two courses on Tableau. One is basic and intermediate. That is all your visuals, interface, calculation, parameter, things like that. Then there is an advanced course on LOD expression. That is calculation. So there are about 13, 14 examples, case studies that I've covered in this. This is a very advanced course on Tableau. There is nothing more advanced than this. Let me tell you that, right? On level of detail expressions. So the bundle has both basic, intermediate, which is one, and then advanced as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, you don't provide any live classes?
You can look at my calendar, right? See, the thing is that I only teach, so I do a lot of corporate consulting work. That is the bulk of my business. I do trainings for clients as well, as in when clients request me to do trainings. And I teach at business schools, right? So for example, if you look at last month in July, I did a training for SRCC. Then I also did a training for Xavier Bhubaneswar. Then later this month in August, I'm doing a training for IMI New Delhi. So I do trainings for business schools because that happens late in the day, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 p.m. Daytime, I'm already so, even though this month is quite free, most other months, I'm so occupied with client work that I barely get any time to do open sessions. Plus, from a cost perspective, to be honest, it doesn't work out because, my corporate training rate would be at least, let's say 40,000 for one day. So basically about 7,000-8,000 an hour. So what happens is that if I do an open session, that's too costly for participants. That's why I have come up with online courses, because it's the same thing. What I'm covering in the online course, the live training, is literally 1/5 of what I've covered in the online recorded course. The recorded course is actually 5 times, 10 times more content, right? That's for something people don't realize. People feel the live training is better. I tell them the live training is actually lesser content. I have more content that I cover here. I also do trainings with Inside IIM. So for example, with Inside IIM, I'm doing a training on, let me show you. This is a weekend batch that I'm doing with Inside IIM, but this is also quite costly. So they are charging 25,000 for a 25-hour course covering Power BI plus Tableau, right? Not really sure where I can find the link. Anyway, not really important. So okay, this is the one, right? So I work with them as a trainer. So this is the one that I believe they have reduced the rate now. So 20,000, right? This one, they're doing a masterclass on Power BI. I've been doing this for a few quarters now. So this is a live 25-hour course that covers Power BI. But literally what I'm covering in my online recorded course is 10 times the amount of content I'm covering in these 25 hours, right? So I can say that with utmost confidence.
I'm watching a
Perfect.
Power BI course.
Yeah.
I'm finding it very useful and very good content you are having in Power BI course. So I like to appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Excellent. So I have an 8:30 meeting, everyone, so I'll have to jump out. But thank you so much for joining me on a Friday evening. Have a great weekend. If you have any queries regarding the course, I'm always available. Even otherwise, even if you're not interested in the course, if there's any other question you have, general question, please send me an email or drop a text on LinkedIn, and I'll definitely answer to that. Okay. Great. All the best, everyone.
Thanks, Avish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you, Avish.
Yes, sir.